from your agreement with the bank, the court matters that we see today, that all we see is politically influenced?
Well, I would be very naive not to think that there's some political influence on this, because why should there be more policemen and more police vehicles at Dari Business Park than you get at the Langata Divisional Police headquarters? Yeah. I mean, that's not a gazetted police station, so why should there be so many policemen there with their vehicles? Yeah, so unless I'm very naive, I can only read politics in it. Yes.
So from what you see, there's far more than meets the eye. And the thing about cases like this is that it's tried in the court of public opinion, and that opinions sometimes then form narratives which will be carried. And the truth is that the only people who know the truth are the people who know the truth.
Yes.
In cases like this. Is there anything else from where you sit that could be the case beyond the things that you've mentioned that could then influence what is actually ordinary in the lives of very many people? Land issues, court issues, debt issues, back and forth. But this seems to have been carried out in such a way that we've thrown in politics, thrown in, vendetta, thrown in so many other things, which again goes back to the question that, is there anything else that could be the reason behind this, save Raphael Tuju was seen having a conversation with somebody about what could have influenced the result of a general election, and that didn't sit right with somebody, and that, his land could be taken. It could be anybody. And that, yes, you do have political gravitas as somebody who was in an influential position in government. I think the Super CS started with you, kind of thing. But the questions still abound that what is this thing? Is there something that there seems to be a queen bee somewhere?
Yeah. I think it's a multiplicity of issues. But I think for me the most important thing, which really should be of concern to Kenyans, is the rule of law and a credible judiciary. And that's because a failed state normally is defined by failure in the executive, corruption in parliament, failure in various sectors. But the moment you have failure of the judiciary, then the country is gone. Because then what then happens is that then people take the law into their hands. People develop militias. So that, like in this case, how can we have a situation in which there's corruption in the judiciary, and it means that then it completely undermines the rule of law, so to speak. Yeah. So for me, I could be on trial. I mean, EADB could be on trial. Like, for example, I'll just give you this. Maybe there are too many moving parts in this particular case. The EADB operates under an EADB Act of 2014. This has been declared unconstitutional because it gives the EADB gives the Minister for Finance the opportunity to be able to get money sent to EADB without parliamentary approval, and also not to be audited. Okay, so there's a hole there, and unfortunately, this EADB Act was made into Kenyan law in 2014 when
after you had taken the loan.
No, before I took the loan.
Okay.
And who was the Attorney General who presented in Parliament? It was Githu Muigai. And at the same time, Githu Muigai's farm of Muigai and Nyaoga were acting for EADB. So there's serious issues of conflict of interest. But then now it has been declared unconstitutional. Because surely how can you be getting money from the exchequer?
So if that's the case, then they should not have been able to offer you the loan in the first place. One would ask the question that even if it was unconstitutional in terms of its operation, Raphael, then it was unconstitutional for them to offer you the loan in the very beginning.
No, even any contract has got issues because that EADB Act allows them to operate outside the Banking Act. And when you operate outside the Banking Act, which means that any violations, it cannot be dealt with by the central bank, which is the regulator, which it is not regulated by the central bank. Now, as a consumer, if you say these are hospitals and people come here with the stethoscopes and dust coats saying they are doctors, I mean, all you have to do is to dress differently.
Yeah,
and move.
I can convince you.
and say you're a doctor, and I'll come and consult with you. So it's the responsibility of central bank to be able to tell us this is a bank. But according to the Constitution, the constitutional, I mean, the act which allows them to exist is unconstitutional to the extent that it does not obey the Banking Act, it is not under the Banking Act, unconstitutional to the extent that it does not, they have not been able to submit audit accounts as demanded by the Constitutional Court for the last 11 years. It is unconstitutional to the extent that they get money from the exchequer, but when it comes to auditing, they're not audited. And when it comes to even the law, obeying the laws of this country, supposing that they insisted that, okay, pay us double because that's what's the Diplom rule. They said, no, even double we will not accept because we are not governed by Kenyan laws. So how do you operate in Kenya as a bank and you're not subject to Kenyan laws? So those are the things that were declared unconstitutional. They have not argued against that. They are now arguing that they want to be given more time to operate outside the Constitution. That is what now we are fighting in court in the Constitutional Court. So it was a mafia, right? The officials who are involved in this particular matter are facing criminal charges in court. They have gone to the Constitutional Court again to say that they have diplomatic immunity, which is outrageous because diplomatic immunity does not protect you from criminal charges. I mean, an ambassador cannot rape their house help and say they have diplomatic immunity. Whatever is criminal is criminal. So in this particular case, they are facing criminal charges on this matter. And they had no response except that we are immune.
I mean, beyond Tuju, the politician, the businessman, Tuju who's in court fighting the EADB, there is Tuju the person, Tuju the individual father out there. And we see immediately after that there is what happened at home, you with the Council of Elders and decisions that you did made. How has this been for you as an individual, for your children and the community that you do serve?